What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Tanisha People live from another TPRS. This is my homeboys, my partners, my brothers in crime, Mr. Jason B. Allen and Mr. Nehemiah Frank. We apologize for CP time, but you know what else? What a better way to kick off Black History Month than like this. So, but
Not due to Atlanta's internet. I just wanted to throw that out there.
not due to Atlanta's internet. It's just Monday. Let's just call it Monday. Is why stuff is cutting up, but. Um, y'all, I think one of the ways that another dope way that we're kicking off Black History Month is with our young people, the greatness that our history has yielded. So today we have Mr. Jaden Holliman, Miss Aisha Dukuly, and Mr. Kaylen Moore. Y'all come off mute. Tell us how y'all feeling today, and welcome to the show.
No, it's a slow day, but fine. So,
It's a slow day.
Slow is fine. Slow and steady wins the race.
You know what? You gonna appreciate these days. In a while, when you turn into an adult, we don't get too many slow days. So, well, when you real old or whatever, but just a heads up. Aisha, how you feeling today?
I feel great.
Feel great. Good. Glad to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
How you feeling?
I feel good. Just another Monday, start of the week,
Just another Monday. All right. Jason Neo, anything we got to bring up, talk about from the weekend?
Well, it's Black History Month, so it's one of the best times of the year. Now, everybody should know this by now. We celebrate Black History 365. So, shout out to Carter G. Woodson and his advocacy for Black History Week. His dream, if you get a chance to read through some of the old essays, his dream was actually to have our history, celebrated all throughout the year. And not to say that the brother settled for a week, but he took what they gave him and it grew into a month. And so I feel like we had a capacity to make that celebration into a year by connecting to things such as Kwanzaa and Juneteenth. So I just wanted to kick it off with, acknowledging the great brother himself, Carter G. Woodson, for, even allowing us a platform to be celebrated.
That's right. Who else, Jason? You said you had some trivia for us.
Oh yeah. Brother Nia, you got some Black History facts you want to drop before I do my trivia?
Nah, I'm cool. It's Black History Month, so it's another day. It's another month because we celebrate Black History 365.
Awesome. I was gonna just say that, on this wall of so many people, you can't see this amazing woman. I wanted to, kick off today with a shout out to Mary Mahoney. She's the first Black registered nurse in the United States, and definitely thought it would be befitting to shout her out as we are celebrating those on the front lines, especially Black and brown persons who are putting their lives at risk to make sure that we're able to still be here doing the things that we like to do. So she's all the way up at the top of my wall, so you probably wouldn't be able to get a good glimpse of her face, but she is there. And Mary Mahoney, she's the first Black registered nurse in the United States. So shout out to her and all healthcare frontline workers.
I got a random question real quick for our guest today. Who's someone from the past, a Black leader that you've been inspired by? I know we didn't include this in the original email, so if it's like sideways thing, my bad. But just go ahead and popcorn it. Tell us somebody you've been inspired by.
Off rip, Malcolm X. A lot of people will be looking at the bad side of Malcolm X's teachings and his philosophy, which is sick of talking. We got to take action. And I really enjoy the stories of Martin Luther King and just watching how one man used his words to just completely change the ideas of the entire nation. But also, you got to realize that sometimes words can't help us the way that actions do. So
Good.
I like watching it, like hearing about how he just completely just said, man, look, enough talking. It's time to take action. And that's one of my biggest things in Black history. I love it.
All right. Most def.
Well, I was going to say Malcolm X, too.
I'd say Madam C.J.
Go ahead.
I'd say Madam C.J. Walker because she built a big empire from nothing, very successful. She changed how Black women felt about themselves. made them feel great about themselves. Something that's we don't hear enough about enough women of Black history. So I'd say Madam
That's
C.J.
good.
Walker.
You better speak that. You better speak that.
I was gonna say Malcolm X too, because he was always like more radical in his time, and he didn't want. He knew that talking wouldn't work, and some things you can't just talk. And he also like radical and all this. He just stood up to everyone, and he didn't care what people thought. So I thought he was cool. I feel like he's really slept on, and yeah.
So
I feel that.
Tanisha, who do you admire from our history?
I mean, she's still here, but like Angela Davis all day.
Oh yeah,
Angela
Angela's
Davis
on my
all
wall
day.
too.
Angela Davis all day. People that Nikki Giovanni, like she killing softly with the words. Like, man, so many greats, but Angela Davis is first come to mind. She's just so eloquent and intelligent and just about this life, so she's definitely a favorite. What about y'all?
I would definitely say, growing up, it was a mixture between Huey Newton, Malcolm, and Martin, because I found a little bit of myself in all of them. But this shout out to Mr. Gordon. I talk about him a lot. My first black male teacher in 4th grade. He schooled us on Bayard Rustin, and a lot of people didn't, realize the impact that he had on the movement. The blueprint. He was a thinker, right? A strategic planner. That's me all day long. So I was like, why don't they shout this brother out? So I would definitely say Bayard Rustin would get my pick for today.
Absolutely.
So I think for me, it would definitely be Booker T. Washington, and I know everyone has, their thoughts about different academics during that time, whether they were for us or they were, walking the fence. But I really enjoyed reading his story up from slavery. I taught it to my kids when I used to teach full time. It was the first book that I've ever actually cried reading, and it was particularly the time when him and his family, they were traveling to West Virginia, and they came across this hill into this little town, and there was this black kid. He was 14 years old, and he was literate. And most black people back then were not, they couldn't read. So they were all crowded around this 14-year-old boy who was reading the paper to them. And I was just like, damn, it just brought me to tears.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's important that, we have this conversation because, again, it's the first day of Black History Month. And as we all know, Black history is not taught well, has not been taught well in schools. And so I think that, on this show, and if you're having conversations in general, kick it off with who's your favorite ancestor.
That's good.
Ancestor or your favorite Black liberator that's still living. We need to have these conversations. Our young people need to know who these people are, who these greats are. And I mean, clearly we got some greatness on the show because they already know. And I think to kick the show off, the title of this one is To Be Young, Gifted, and Black in America. And again, we have some gifted young people on the show. I wanted to, share some space, give them some space to tell us a little bit about themselves before we get into the nitty gritty of how it is to be young and Black in America in 2021. So we'll go first. Don't kick it off. Don't be shy.
I'm typically not a shy person, so I definitely will try to make everybody else feel more comfortable because I have a more chill back and relaxed personality. So a little about me. Well, first of all, my name is Kaylen Moore. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I just a little about me. I'm a more laid back person, but I'm very self aware, and I pay attention. And I look around and keep my eyes on the news. I look at a lot of things from every side and angle, from the Black side, the white side, adult, young, and definitely one of my biggest aspects and points of view on a lot of things, especially in society now, is looking at it from being a child, but also being an adult. Looking at it from, okay, how am I going to pay my bills? And also looking at it as how can I make my job easier for my parents. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of who I am as a person. I really don't have any other much to say. Everything else you probably just read off of me and there. And yeah, I'm a really easy person to read. I'm not gonna make it complicated.
Okay.
My name's Jaden Holliman. I live in Atlanta, and I attend a charter school that focuses on African American culture. And I'm very into like politics and policy and all that because I know these issues that are going on now are going to affect me in the future if we don't do anything to address them. So I think it's important that we look at the issues and we talk about them because they're going to affect us. So yeah, I think that's important. That's really it.
My name is Aisha Dukuly. I'm a senior and I go to school in Gwinnett County. Like Jaden said, I'm also very interested in politics and social justice. I feel like our generation needs to get more involved in it because we're having to grow up faster with the coronavirus and all the different things going on in the world. And so I think that this is important for us to get into and understand it so that when we get to you guys' age, we can actually make a difference.
Oh, so you know I got a lot to say, right? Because I it's the humility for me. So for everybody that's tuned in, you know, I consider these youth to be activists that are rock stars, right? Like they are making a difference in ways that a lot of their peers, and to be quite honest, a lot of adults are not doing. Jaden and Aisha were on the ground helping to get people registered to vote. So when we talk about what happened in Georgia, like it was young people that helped make this happen. You know, Kaylen was, you know, on the news in the AJC, lending his voice to, you know, letting Governor Kemp know, brother, you need to do more about making sure that we don't have to return back to the classroom to take a standardized test when our schools are overcrowded. And so, you know, these are things that they're actually doing right now. I mean, I shout out them because we don't hear from our young people as much as we should, and we're not allowing them to lead in the ways that they could. So I definitely wanted to just, you know, that was a proud teacher moment. I just wanted to shout them out for the work they're doing.
Yeah, I want y'all to brag on y'all selves. Like, come on now. I'm about to make y'all pull it. Let me see the shoes. Y'all got on some dope shoes. Let me see brag on the kids. No, dang. All right, well, let's get on into it. So Jason just talked about how dope you guys are as activists. Why did y'all get into activism? Why and how?
So for me, I think I was about 13. I got into activism because of the incident with the police. So my older cousin, he was always in and out of trouble, and the police would come, like, you know, they knock on the door, oh, say, can we look for him? But they would never have a warrant. You know, you can't search your house unless you have a warrant. But they would always, it'd be me and my mom, so always like force the way or connive the way into the house. And it was like scary. It was very traumatizing for me. Until one day they raided my house. And after that, I'm like, yeah, like I need to do something. Like, I need to do something about this. And then I didn't see racism in its layers and how people was before that. And then after that happened, like, I just saw it everywhere. Like, it was a flood of racism. I could see it everywhere. And I was like, hey, I have to do something about this now. And this is an issue.
So quick question. Real quick question for Aisha. How did you feel seeing your cousin like kind of brutalized and treated that way by the police?
I mean, whenever they would come, he was never here. But that hurt, like, you know, when they always talk about, like, when the person who's in trouble gets to jail, always talk about that person, but it affects the family too. The family goes through it with them. I mean, the family might not be in jail with it, but we experience it just as much as that individual does.
Right. I'm sorry, Jaden, go ahead.
Well, I got into activism. I was in 7th grade, and I remember it was election night in 2016, and my dad threw in like an election party, and Trump had won, and then that's when I really got into it, seeing like this is really like what America is, like that they're able to elect someone like this. Like this didn't just happen. America's been like this. And yeah, I thought America was moving forward because they had a black president, but it just shows America isn't. It moved backwards because of black president. And then everything this year from George Floyd to Breonna Taylor just angered me even more that we need to do something. We need to make real change, especially that our own law enforcement is willing to kill us. Then we're not safe around anymore.
Definitely. Go ahead, Kaylen.
Well, I don't have that much of an interesting backstory like the other two of my partners.
A little modesty is just killing me. I'm easy going. I ain't got a backstory. Yes, you do.
More of I kind of grew up watching from the outside looking in on just how people dealt with these problems. Like even now, as you two were talking, I kind of was just from the outside looking in because I didn't have someone really close to me get brutalized by the police. I wasn't necessarily targeted by the police. And I really didn't have like, for me in 6th grade, we did cover the election, but it was more of like when we looked at the bad that Trump had and the bad that Hillary had, it was just kind of like, okay, it's the lesser of two evils, and in this sense, y'all chose the more evil. And just watching how we have to suffer the consequences for someone else's actions, and because of a collective few's choices, and even then learning just like, even just because we vote, really electoral college that brings them in. So it's more about how the electoral college is feeling. Although votes do matter and count, the electoral colleges count a little more. So just kind of looking and learning, and as not very recently, but recently about 2 months ago, I got a text from Mr. Allen. Who tells me, "Hey, I got this event I want you to speak at. You think you can make it?" I said, "I'll try." And in the middle of testing, and he's like, "I'm on the way." I flashed right through the test. All right, let's do this. I know what I'm doing anyway. I got through, passed the test, got where it went, and we went. And I didn't know what I was getting into, but I knew that whatever it was, fear is the one thing that's going to stop you from doing anything you need to do. So I put my fear in the back burner. I put any type of, oh no, I might not do well. Oh no, I might not be enough. Oh no, is what I'm saying making sense? Throw that in the back burner. Let my heart do the talking. And going off of what I've seen people deal with. Stories like Aisha's, people that I met that dealt with stuff like that, knowing that I've had family members that dealt with that, friends, like it's just, I speak from the heart. I watch how people move. I watch the people that are not here today that I've lost along the way have to deal with that. So definitely have to go and give you guys my voice. It's not going to be the brightest voice in the group, and it's not going to be the strongest, but most definitely will be a voice that you deserve to hear.
That's good. So I have a question for the young people. We've heard from everybody, but I have yet to see young Black people offer their emotions of January 6th when the insurrection took place. What were you thinking? Like, what were the emotions that were going through your mind? And we know some people were like, this isn't really our country. This isn't who we are. But as Jaden pointed out, like, this is exactly who we are. So I want to hear from y'all. Like, what were your emotions that day?
I had many different. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, y'all can go ahead. I'm gonna go last and let y'all have this one.
So that day I didn't find out 2 days later, but I had many different emotions. There's like so much, the pandemic, everything happening. I was angry because I'm like, Black Lives Matter protesters can't even protest for their lives without getting shot at. But these people were able to get into the Capitol and untouched by the police. It just made me angry, and then it made me feel like defeated. Like there's no hope for my generation. Like what's gonna happen to us because things like this happen. I felt like I felt like I was under attack. It was like, we can't breathe. Like there's always something.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it was scary, but I wasn't really shocked because it's just when they say this isn't who America is, this was orchestrated by the president of the United States. I don't think people really understand that. Like the president orchestrated this to they wanted to kill his own vice president. So I just wasn't shocked at all because he's been spreading lies for months and months and months, and people have been believing it. I don't even think they believe it. They just want to believe this false mentality that the election was fraud and all this stuff. And I just wasn't shocked at all. It was scary that our lawmakers' lives could be put at stake like that. And then Donald Trump has the nerve to call us thugs when we protest, but tells Capitol rioters that he loves them and doesn't condemn them until he's impeached. That's when it's a problem. So I think it wasn't shocking to me.
But Jaden, let me ask you a question real quick. Because some people were saying like the scene where the lawmakers were hiding under the chamber seats and stuff like that. Somebody said like now y'all get to see how we live in America. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that that's true? Like now they can maybe empathize with our plight, especially young people's plight?
Yeah, I would hope so. Some of them, but some of them still went in and objected the electoral college results even after the terrorist attack when they were about to
Right.
get killed. So I don't know what it's gonna take. I just think it's really crazy.
Mm.
I will say they did that out of fear. And I watched the events on that day. Like they said, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. This is what is expected. Let's be real. Like you watched it in past, not even the events of the past 4 years, man. Events of the past 60 years. This is expected of us. We're looked at. America's looked at across the world as the country of freedom. Where you go and you have anything. Why would you come here? You're a minority. You come here, you have a target already painted on your back. Let alone be a young black female, young black male. You already have one of the biggest target painted on your back. And you like, for example, out of all those people that rushed the Capitol, very few of them were black. Those very few of them that were black are sitting in federal prison right now. The ones that aren't black, walking free, home arrest. This
Come
is
on now.
and I look at it and I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. At the end of the day, what can you expect from a country built for people that ain't us? I don't go in and use labels. I just say it how it is. There's no way I want to raise my kids in a country where as soon as you come out of the womb, you have a target in the back. As soon as you decide, hey, I want to walk. I don't even want you walking in the store. Don't walk, because even when I go to the store, like I had to walk to work at one point. The fear of anytime a police officer would pass me is like, I shouldn't even be scared. You're supposed to be protecting me, and I'm in the back of my mind. I mean, I don't fear anything, but at the same time, I'm sitting there like, yo, let me move a little more cautious. Let me fix my posture. Let me walk a little more. Like, hey, I'm not doing anything. Let me have my hands where you can see them. I have to be more aware. And
That's good.
As a teenager, you're supposed to be aware. But when I'm 12 years old, being taught how to handle being pulled over by the police, that's a problem. When I'm 12 years old and I'm being taught how to deal with police as a 12, like, it gotta get through some people's heads at this point. Stop helping them paint the target on our backs. The Capitol terrorist attack, that didn't do anything but just show how red that target is on our back. You can't protest Black Lives Matter. We're getting hosed down. They're sicking dogs on us. We're being attacked. And then you get people standing out front. You aware these people are going to do this. Yeah, why aren't you strapped up with the guns like you would be with us? No, you have tasers, riot shields, no tear gas though. Then they bust in, someone dies, a lady got shot. One of the best things about being a teenager is how in tune you are with social media.
Yep.
Watching these people say, oh, rest in peace, oh, we're so sorry, oh, poor soul. Ma'am, your last tweet was the day you died. The last tweet that you put out was the day you died, and also implying that you were going to go assist Trump in a terrorist attack. And look at you. You think that gets you extra points? Being a ghost gets you extra points? No, it doesn't. It does not help at all. And it's really sad watching how others just let this slide. That's the wake-up call for us. Us kids who got to, like, we got to teach our generation better. We got to lead our generation better. Because what we're not going to do is we're not going to perceive these acts the same way they did. Black Lives Matter, some of the protests could have been done better. I wasn't against the rioting, but at the same time, again, that helped paint the target on our backs. There's so much we could have done better. And honestly,
my goodness, that is amazing. So everybody that's out there watching, you just saw this teenager give fair and balanced reporting. Seriously, that was excellent. My goodness.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Black people can't do
Kaylen. Because America, they paint this picture like everywhere else in the world, especially Africa, right? They'll say former colony of this country, former colony of that country, but nobody ever talks about America as a former colony of England. And people think that America is this great, perfect country that is everybody should strive for it, and it's not. And that proves to everybody who didn't believe that, like, no, America has problems just like everywhere else in the world, and those third world countries in Africa that like to make fun of. And I feel that was important for the world to see that America isn't perfect. Everybody strives to be like America. Everybody shouldn't do that. And I think that's a good thing that came out of this, is to show everybody that America isn't as great as you think it is.
Expose them, huh?
Yeah, most definitely. Because now you can see from the outside looking in is just looking, and they're like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. It's like watching the drama go down, but then you realize, oh, that's a lot worse than we thought. Now you can go ahead and unbook your plane ticket here, buddy. This ain't the move. This ain't the place you want to be right now. Give it a couple of years. Because right now, Atlanta needs its therapy. Not even just Atlanta, but the nation needs its therapy. I hope Biden's the answer. And if he's not, the guy after him gotta be. Or female.
I also think that, like, with Biden, people are putting a lot of faith into Biden. And that's cool, right? But I feel like Black people are almost married to the Democratic Party. Like, I feel like we should be independent thinkers. We don't need to be they feel like we don't owe anything to the Democratic Party. We should be independents, no the Republican Party. I mean, it's all racist when you think about it, because it was built for white men. We're not white men. So it would never be fair for us. So we have to use our discretion to see, okay, which policy do I like? Which policy do I like? Instead of just voting Democratic all the time, not knowing what's really going on.
Yes,
y'all make me so proud.
They got me emotional over here. Like, I don't think
it's so dope.
Right. I'm like, y'all just take the show. Y'all can just
right. We just say it's y'all show. We just go sit back and listen to y'all, because y'all learning us today.
To add on to what she said, I mean, honestly, both sides are not good. That I just keep it a buck 100 with you. Both sides ain't good. Both sides advocate for something that ain't right. Honestly, you got people trying to control what folks do with their bodies. Look, no. You got folks trying to control what us as Black people do. Come on. That's why I want that. That's why we want more Black lawmakers. We need more Black lawmakers that grew up how we grew up. Not somebody that, I was born in Atlanta. No, you were born in the suburbs. Get somebody that was born in the rough part. Somebody else.
If he changed your mayor, you were born in Atlanta, huh?
Yeah, and I agree with the part about Black lawmakers, but we also need to elect Black lawmakers who are going to do stuff for Black people.
That's
and
good.
Also, I think with the 2020 election, I think what people need to understand was like Joe Biden and all this, that people didn't vote for Joe Biden, they just voted against Trump. So it was more of like a thing like against Trump, like people.
So your dad didn't tell you, your dad didn't prep you for this at all or anything like that? Y'all, Jesus. So I want to go backwards because one of y'all had mentioned about the medicine. So what's the medicine to help heal Atlanta and the nation? Like, what does that look like?
It looks like sitting back and letting this play out. Stop. Not like we done everything we could possibly. We played the Martin Luther King route.
Okay.
We tried playing the Malcolm X route, and all it got was us killed. At this point, what we got to do is we just got to sit back. We don't got to let them have their way, but we just got to sit back, because now we try to take an action. We can't do what our ancestors did not. We also cannot do what our ancestors did. There were some things that I agree with when reading up Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. There's a time for talk. There's a time for action. We took both, and we took initiative and did both, and it got us nowhere. And you can try all day and do as much as you can, but it's tiring. I shouldn't be one to, I shouldn't be tired of this. I shouldn't be tired of going on Instagram and seeing, someone else shot dead by a police officer. Someone else is killed by a police officer. And all you got to look in the comments and see is, well, what did he do wrong?
I definitely agree with him, because it's not our job. We didn't create this problem. White people created this problem. It's not our job to fix it. It's their job to fix it. But and then the part about it too is America's divided. A house divided itself cannot stand. And America is broken. So if something's broken, if something's broken, you destroy it and you build it up again. So it's not our job to fix it. I don't think the benefit is to fix it anyway. If it crumbles on its own, then we can rebuild from what's left, and we can build a more equitable society.
That's good. I love that. Hey, y'all, I have a quick question. Oh no, go ahead, Jaden. You
I
definitely go
think the
ahead, bro.
solution is electing people instead of like on their look, but like on their policies and what they actually support. I think like identity politics is a problem because it creates room for people to make mistakes. Like, oh, if you're gonna elect the first woman to this, we're not gonna look at what she's actually done against the community. So I think we need to elect people on their policies, just not how they look. I think that's a big step.
Brother, let me tell you. So my question to y'all is this, because Atlanta definitely needs some healing. It's made national news, but it hits home because I mentioned earlier how Aisha and Jaden, Kaylen, so many others in our coalition had been on the ground getting their peers and other people registered and out to vote. And so one of the platforms that the newly elected DA, Fonnie Willis, ran on was social justice, right? She ran on Rayshard Brooks, a black brother that was killed here by the police. She ran on the Spelman and Morehouse students that were attacked and said, I'm going to bring black people justice. I strategically have Keisha Lance Bottoms behind me, and then I have pictures of all of these black brothers and sisters that have died here in Atlanta under black leadership. So my question to y'all is, we talking about healing, we're talking about understanding, the two faces on both sides of the coin, Democrats and Republicans that are not doing what they are saying they're going to do. What do we do to hold black people accountable that are in both parties that are pimping our pain and not doing anything to help the people?
That's good.
I think in a way they're pimping our pain because when you become, in order to get in those places, you have to shed some of your blackness. You can't get to the place where like the top and you have to be like, they're not going to accept that. Somebody once said if Michelle Obama has won natural, Barack Obama would have never won. And I can believe that. And so they become a part of the system, they become a product of the system, and they come to become colorblind to all this stuff. I feel like the only way to fix that would be to change the system. That's going to take a long time. And so in the meantime, I feel like Black people need to get more involved in politics and know what's going on. And so that they know they can make sure that the person that's in power is not going to play them. We need help accountable, yes, but we also need to hold ourselves accountable to make sure that we're going to do our homework and to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Wow. So I've never heard that before, shedding blackness.
That was, yeah.
Make sure you coin that, or like make sure you get that. Jeez.
Yeah, we're gonna get Aisha connected with somebody that can get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I think that a problem is like that the black community has is like when we elect black people to offices, because it's generally like history. Whenever a black person gets to office, they're not willing to hold them accountable just because they're black. Like it's just like they're like blindsided by the fact that they're black, but they could still do things that help you. But people don't care enough just because they made history. Like they let the history live on for too long, but it's really just checking a box and they're not doing anything for you. It's just to be able to say, oh, first black this, but they're not doing anything for the actual black community that put them there. So
dang, that is.
I feel like people
Jaden. That's really good. So I'm a journalist, right? And whenever I see black leaders get elected, and they semi mess up, right? Something happens on the inside, and it's like you need to call them out. You need to get some writers on that, and you get that stuff published because they're messing up. But I go through this like double consciousness, I guess, where I'm like, I don't want to harm this black person because black people are always getting harmed, right? And then the other thing that happens is well, I don't want to embarrass the black person because we've always been embarrassed, and stigmatized in the media. So I literally have to go all the way around that. And then I have to see, well, if you don't do this, the community is going to be harmed. And so it comes down to the community and holding that elected official accountable. I'm very happy that you said that. That's really good.
Wait, can I go back for a second? What hurt my heart was when Kaylen said basically just all of these things that y'all experience as young people.
Yes.
I mean, if we think about how we grew up, like growing up in Chicago wasn't the easiest. I grew up in Inglewood. It was tough. We still saw violence, but we were able to jump rope, go to the park, have a snowball, whatever, and not necessarily feel the fear. Like there was still a police presence that was, scary, but not like how it is now. And so to know that y'all are young people and y'all dealing with a situation similar to what young people dealt with during Jim Crow and civil rights, and that's present now on top of a pandemic, that hurts my heart. I just want to acknowledge that, like, as an older person, the fact that y'all going through this as young Black people, y'all should not have to live like this.
Most definitely.
Y'all shouldn't. Like, I almost like I'm crying on the inside.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna show
me
tears.
too.
You know, on the outside it's an ugly cry, and I'm not gonna ugly cry on like social media, but that's hard. Like, that hurts.
Thank you, because I feel like not people realize that how fast we're having to grow up, and that we're having to be
Yeah.
adults at a younger age, and they don't respect our opinion. When we speak, they take it for granted. It just goes over their head because, like, oh, you're a kid, we don't know what you're talking about. But we're having to grow up really fast, and so thank you for acknowledging that, because most people don't.
And one of the biggest things you hear as a teenager is, "Oh, don't grow up too fast." Oh, and you even made the comment earlier, which is like, you're going to enjoy these moments when you get older. It's like, wow, we done got older so fast. It's like, I ain't even gonna lie, I've been getting older to the point where my knees is bad. Like, I'm tired. And it's like, I want to go out to the park with my friends. I want to go out and do things. But like, the biggest fear, don't wear too much of this. Don't wear this. Don't wear that. You gotta watch it. And it's not even just being like, I have to wear gray. Like, one of the biggest things I do is when I go out, I gotta get something that matches with gray. So I have a gray jacket, because gray is a color that isn't associated with anything. Gray is a very neutral color. And it's not, you're wearing this color, so you're part of this. You're wearing this color, so you might be suspicious and tied to something. And it's like, no, I promise you I'm not. I'm wearing a color that is not associated with anything. And that's the thing that I had to be made aware of as a child.
Wow.
You grow up. It's like you're forced to grow up so fast, it's almost discerning. It's like, it's sad. Like, I don't want to be the one who has to teach my 3-year-old son, hey, police pulled me over. Make sure your hands where you can be seen. You see what I do? You got to make sure you do this. When I'm teaching my son how to drive, he gets pulled over. Make sure your hands on the dashboard. License registration needs to be somewhere where you're not reaching for it to where it looks like you're getting a weapon. These are little things I have to teach you, because I don't want to go through what a lot of Black parents had to go through, which is, hey, the call from the hospital, hey, your son was just shot and killed. That's something that no one wants to deal with. That's a pain that a lot of parents had to deal with. Tragic. It's so tragic. And watching guys like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all this, you could be dug up against them, but dude, at the end of the day, he did nothing wrong. It was a misunderstanding. Why was your knee on his neck? Breonna Taylor, y'all should have provided a better warrant. Y'all should have provided a warrant. Y'all don't just bust in somebody's house like that and go shooting. You look, and it's the fear of, and then again, I will tie this back to Black people. Enough of us, and I ain't gonna say just us, but a lot of people shoot first and ask questions later. And the police, I have to be prepared for that. So literally any type of move, where quick movement, they're gonna pull the gun out. That's what you can do, because in the back of their mind, they're scared for their lives, and it's because the narrative that we painted for ourselves and the narrative that they have painted for us. At the same time, we painted the same picture, just in different colors, and that's what we get. At the end of the day, this is the target we put on our own back, and it's time that we, as a collective, not just as us in this cause, but as a collective, as everybody out here, everyone watching this, everyone is just aware that a person is wearing the same skin I'm wearing. You gotta help change the picture. You gotta help them not see us as a threat.
That's good.
Our intelligence shouldn't be a threat.
Yeah.
Our color shouldn't be a threat.
But I think also, like he said, we do feed into the narrative that they paint as well. But sometimes it's not because they're scared of the life. It's because you're Black. It's simply because they're racist. But also, we do not to feed into the stereotypes that they paint about ourselves. And I think that's the way music, right? The rap music nowadays is all about these very negative things, drugs, sex, money, all these things, and that's not good for you should not be listening to that. And I think it's cool. I'm gonna sag my pants, things like that. And I'm not saying it's not okay to be black, but there's a certain type of decency you have to have for yourself. And that music, that's not the life that those rappers live. It's not a life that you should want to live. And so I feel like it comes it's up to the adults. Like there's certain things we need, like the music. The rap music needs to go, or at least that type of rap music. And it's different things like that. Like the media is bad. It could be a tour, it could be a bad, it could be terrible. I feel like nowadays children just get so much screen time and kids. 4 and 5th graders have iPhones. Little kids shouldn't have phones, and that's where it starts. And I think that needs to stop. Like, we need to do something about
Give
that.
them access to this stuff.
Wow.
Like you shouldn't have some of these songs, man. They is very inappropriate. Why do I go see my little cousin's 7 years old and she's singing something that I know darn well if I was singing in front of my mother back when I was her age, I'm getting popped in the mouth. There's no way. It's got to be and these parents too busy trying to be friends with their kids, man. Be a parent.
Whoa.
You don't care how to not do this. You gotta be a parent before you try to be a friend. You be a friend. Not right now. Your job is to be their parent. You can be their friend afterwards. This little stuff going on, like I ain't giving my kid no phone. I got a phone when I was really in 5th grade. When I really got access to having a cell phone was really in 8th grade. When I finally got that freedom to, hey, look, you have a phone. Call me if you need anything. That's a good time to get a phone when you are catching the bus from and to school. When you need to call your mom, hey, the bus ain't forward up. But I'm not gonna give my child who's 6 years old an iPhone 12 and expect you to just be happy. No,
That's good.
So
I'm not giving my kid a $1,200 phone because I ain't got $1,200 to be throwing down no $5.
That $1,200 is going to something that's gonna make us some more money.
That's
Hey,
what
put it on. It's gonna be some, that wealth piece. Like, we invest in our kids. They don't need a $1,200 phone. They need property, land, things like that. That's what we put in the bags. But quick, like, talking about this music, because a lot of the youth in Chicago are captivated by what they call, I think it's Creole music. I don't know what it's called, but
Drill.
I understand. What is it called?
Drill music.
Drill music. There we go. I'm talking about Creole, Trill. I don't know, Uncle Phil. I'm naming it everything except what it is. But apparently it's influencing a lot of the criminal activity amongst youth. And I want to, like, it's brainwashing from what I understand. And so y'all talk about that, because I mean, it's, if y'all can have a conversation with y'all peers that's listening to this music and is influenced by it to the point where they've been completely brainwashed and they doing the stuff that these lyrics say, what would y'all tell y'all peers? What would y'all tell y'all friends? Anybody on the streets that's like listening to this music and going in the wrong direction?
Don't listen to it, man. That's the
Stop listening to it.
Don't listen to it, period, but definitely listen to it when you're mad. One of my older mentors,
You said when you mad.
when I grew up around, he got into listening to, like, don't exactly remember who he was listening to. He was listening, I think he said somebody, NBA YoungBoy, somebody. And he said he was driving and somebody cut in front of him. You driving an SUV and you zoom right past them because you mad. You blasting the music, you mad, and it influences your anger. One of the things that these songs pick at is your anger. Yo, okay, I listen to this because I'm being bullied at school. Oh, you talking about shoot my op? So you saying kill him? Like, and it's because you got it. The music just puts the idea just in your head, so you're not really want to do it. But after you sing it a couple of times and it kind of make you feel good and make the goosebumps go down your arm, now you want to, like, how much does a gun cost? Now you want to think. Now you thinking you hard. You thinking that that's what the life you want, and then ties into painting that narrative. Now the police pull you over, and what do you have in your passenger seat? A 9mm. You reach for your license registration in that glove compartment, you're getting shot because what's right next to that glove compartment? That gun.
And there's a better alternative. Me personally, I don't listen to rap music. My family's from, like I said before, my family's from Liberia, so I listen to a lot of Afro beats. A lot of times, there's like a divide between Africans and Black Americans. When you listen to African music, you feel this pride in being Black, this pride in being from Africa. And sort of you can replace the pride you feel from being a gangster or from listening to music with pride in being Black. And then I feel like if you have pride in who you are, all this negative behavior, you'll leave it behind because you don't need it anymore. It's not replacing what's supposed to be there.
Yeah, and I think that's true. And I think if you can't listen to it and just like forget it, like if you can listen to it and then forget it, just like you just listen to the music, but you don't carry it into your real life, then go ahead. But if you can't, if you can listen to it and then you have to go and it inspires you in some way, then I'd say stop listening to it because you shouldn't take that into your real life. But if you can leave it out and just like leave it in your head, you like the beats or whatever, then whatever. But if you're gonna take it and then go do what they do, then don't listen to it.
That's good.
And can we, this point that a class brought up in the chat, I want to touch on that because that's important. This power, this influence that they have over these entertainers which we thinking that all of this is coming from them, but really it's somebody in the back kind of orchestrating everything. That so it's similar to when we talk about history, like how y'all living in these eras that existed before, and how kind of the entertainment industry is like the cotton fields, and black people are in the fields picking this cotton, like we being
Yeah.
used, and we being, you know, it's causing brutalization in our communities, it's causing so many things. So can y'all talk about that, like how black people are being manipulated for money and for entertainment?
I definitely get the comparison you're drawing. I definitely get it.
We are.
Look at our slaves. The slaves are rappers, you know, actors in the community, and even places like BET, places where you think that most of these is black-owned shows, got a white man overrunning it. And you wanna be real honest, the white man is the master. And there's nothing we can do as people because we're from the outside looking in on those subjects. We can only make you aware, but that contract is the whip. You can't break
Yeah.
that contract. That contract's keeping you quiet. So you can't speak on these issues. We can, but you can't.
Yeah, and I think it's important because when you really think about it, it's weird because black people make up like majority of the musical entertainment industry, but all the people are white executives. So I think it's weird. Like in all the major music companies, all the people are white executives. Then like it's black people who are who are selling the music. You know, so I just the contrast.
Do you see the same thing when it comes to the ownership of athletic teams, such as UNBA?
I feel like in that sense, it's like they look at the black person as a monkey, and it's like do your jig. And I feel like in the schools you push a narrative of to get out of poverty, you need to be in performing arts. You need to be a rapper or a football player, and that's not true. Instead of listening to this music and they're doing it's all for their entertainment. Instead of listening to music, negative music, all these things, listen to podcasts on people talk about finances, and you can learn how to trade stocks. And the amount of time you spend wasting time watching TV or listening to music, you learn how to trade stocks. You learn how to get into real estate and build your wealth, so that your kids don't have to go through the same thing that you went through. But nobody ever teaches us that because they don't want us to know about it.
So what about the average? So what about the average kid though? Like the average teenager is going to be like, well, I like Cardi B, and talking about finances is boring. Like, how do you reach your peers?
Well,
everybody likes money, right?
Right.
Cardi talking about the money. You want the money? Go. That's how you get it. And then like top back to the finance thing real quick. They tell us do that. I went and invested in stocks. Some said hold on because I was hearing a lot about GameStop. Ooh. I was about to put all that in there. I ain't know them folks was gonna do that. They completely went and tore up GameStop stocks, and it's just like you're told to do it, but you're told by the white man to do it. But when you follow the white man and do it, nah. Why would you do that? Why would you listen to what I just told you to do? And again, this is not very good to deal with. I mean, these kids want to be Cardi B and all these other rappers, Nicki Minaj and them, but you do realize they're working, right? You know, you do know the struggle they passed that made them, right? You sure you want to go through that to become somebody like them?
You acknowledge that past though, what they went through. A lot of people don't think about that.
I know Nicki went through a lot of body shaming when she was a child, but for Cardi, you want to be like Cardi, man. I done read so much up on it, and one of the biggest things I will say I stand for is not men's rights, but just knowing that not every man is a bad man, and not all men deserve to be mistreated. There's bad men out here, but not all of them are bad. And very great example with Allen really brought me out of bad places when I was a little dude. Well, not even that long ago, probably about 4 years ago. Just kind of.
Yeah, I'm about to say you made us both sound really, really old. I just want to make sure that everybody remembers that I'm really not old at all, y'all. I'm not.
He definitely kept me out of trouble when I was in 7th grade, though. And it's guys like him that I look up to. But then you look at females like Cardi, who women look up to. Well, do you realize that she used to drug and rob men? That's how she got her money. She was a stripper. She used to drug and rob men. And you would think, oh, well, that's not a problem. They probably deserved it. Well, here, that's your idea of that. That's a problem.
And like about that, like his narrative, like the way that things work in society, like heteropatriarchal norms, women can never be men can never be a victim, and women can never be like a perpetrator. And so I think that needs to change because not saying like not everyone wants to kill you, not every man wants to kill you. Like we're everybody's human being, and that puts people in boxes, and that creates issues that like hypermasculinity that doesn't need to be there. And then you have these binaries, oh, all men are bad or all women are bad. And it's not the case. If we would just remove ourselves from these boxes, realize everybody's just human at first, I think that would be better.
Yeah, humans are all the same, regardless of what gender it is. You gotta realize all humans have the same thinking. Just they think the same. And to tie back into Cardi real quick, Cardi made a movie about what I just told y'all about. A male makes that very same thing. Nah, bro, it's over with. You're gone. You can't. It's not even just you're getting canceled. You're getting jail time because that's not good. And it's just I don't like it. It really makes me uncomfortable because being a black male, you already got the painted target on your back that you're black, but now you got the painted target that you're a male. You could do something bad to me. You feel scared around you because you're naturally stronger. You're gonna do something to them.
But then also, I feel like when you say that, Kaylen, let's not forget the fact like women do get raped more than men. Like when I will sometimes work at night, and that's scary because when women are walking through the street at night, they don't know what's going to happen to them. There was like somebody asked if men were in the world, what would you do? Ask women, what would you do for a night if men were in the world? I would just go for a walk. I would just go for a jog. So let's not forget there's a big impact with that. Like that's still like a really big problem. So let's not minimize that. Men do get raped too, but like not as a high rate as women. It's very women have under a lot of pressure and dangers too.
Yeah, you're right. Now I'm not minimizing it at all, but I get what you're talking. I get exactly where you're coming from.
I just real quick, like TDRS family, have y'all ever seen me, Jason, and Neo this quiet? Ever?
Right. I was thinking
Chat.
that too. I was like, this
I'm
is
reading,
so.
I'm just like,
Have
Y'all
y'all
are just
right?
so diplomatic. Like, geez, I'm so
well,
proud of
again,
you. Jeez.
coming from the whole not letting us be kids, we're forced to have to learn about stuff like this. The whole men versus women thing, it really shouldn't even be a men versus women thing.
Yeah.
It should be coexisting and living. But you kind of get where both sides coming from. Black versus white. Again, coexist, live. Y'all should be able to do that. It shouldn't be bumping heads all the time. We're all humans at the end of the day. All our blood is still red. All of us still have the same aspects as everyone else. But a lot of people fail to see that sometimes. And that's what causes most of these arguments against each other and arguments against which side is better, blue or red. Let's be real, it's a color. That's serious. Like even if I prefer to be blue, don't matter. I'll wear red any day of the week. I'm not gonna be mad about it. Is little things like you're forced to have to pick a side. And at the end of the day, I've been learning, especially very recently, don't pick a side. Because you picking a side just adds more fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And it's good people are finally starting to like wake up, especially with the blue and red thing. There's this group, it's called Justice Democrats. And basically they realize that like even some Democrats don't do enough for their constituents to represent them. So what they do is they push them out and they actually fight for the policies that are actually going to help people. And they treat black people in policy not just like a slogan. So I think that's important.
I want to Jason put this question up. What will we do as adults to empower more black and brown youth to use their voices and gifts? I want to hear from y'all like what we need to do to support y'all, and I want to hear from the viewers of TDRS. I want them to jump in the chat and say what they feel like should be done to support our youth, because we definitely need to be more hands-on in uplifting our young leaders.
That's good. So I'll say like how we want white people to be quiet sometimes and listen to what we got to say and to believe us. I mean what we were doing here. Y'all proved that y'all are both good advocates. We were just quiet because everything that they were saying, we were just soaking it up because some of it's information we've never heard before, right? So they have something to say. We can actually learn something from these young people.
Yes,
They're the ones that are going to be taking over in a few years. So they should be at the table.
Yeah.
So what y'all Kaylen, Jaden, Aisha, what do y'all need from us to help to support y'all, to uplift y'all voices, to create a space and a world in which y'all don't have to be scared to be young people. Y'all don't have to be afraid to live. What do we need to do better?
I think you guys need to take us more serious. Listen, I feel
She said,
like
listen.
parents will teach their kids treat their kids like kids until a certain amount of time they expect them to grow up. I feel like no. By 12 years old, you should be don't talk to your child like an adult. Treat them like an adult so they feel like they can be respected in that sense. And they'll have the confidence and the maturity to go and talk about these things. If you support them, you sit back, you listen, you take their concerns into consideration, and you help them to do what they want to do to make change. I feel like adults don't take young people seriously enough.
Yeah. And that point on listening, yes, they need to listen because the issues, like the older people who don't listen, the issues aren't going to affect them. They're going to affect us. So they need to listen to like our concerns. Like we have major concerns. This is going to affect us. Like all these issues that they talk about or they like dismiss, it's going to get worse over the years, and it's not going to affect them. It's going to affect us, and it'll be our job to deal with it. So they should deal with it now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to say I actually have something that isn't what they said. Lead us. It's that simple. I don't understand where it became a we're walking side by side thing. When you take the job of being a parent, your job is to lead your child and show them the way. We shouldn't be out here trying to figure out what we do, what's next. We shouldn't be. I shouldn't be 16 worried about, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do next? My mother doesn't let me do that because she led me and she showed me how to do it. But I see my friends who don't even know how to do the smallest things. They're not even open a savings account or anything. It's like, lead your kids. Respect your kids. Respect that we ain't y'all. We ain't grow up how y'all grew up. It's a little harder than it used to be. And a lot of adults won't accept that. Oh, it's not that. Nah, because this, that. No, that's you. As a collective, it's way, way easier back then than it is now. The fear of me deciding to walk to the park and thinking, okay, is somebody gonna kill me on the way here? Am I gonna get hurt? It wasn't that big of a deal back then as it is now. The world is way more dangerous than it used to be. And you gotta respect your kid and understand that if your kid says, hey, Mom, I don't think that's a good idea, it's not a good idea. Because this ain't back in the day. And to tie in another thing, you guys said that we've had our time. Yeah. Y'all have had your time, so now it's time to lead. And we'll follow. No, we ain't gonna follow blindly, of course, but we're gonna follow. And y'all lead the way. Y'all show us how to handle these situations. I probably like that. Me being 12 and being taught how to deal with police, that's not hard. But that's good that you decided to lead me so that when I'm driving and a police officer says, you know what, I know he's in the car, he's black, let me go ahead and pull him over, and I already got my hand on the dashboard and my license registration waiting for you. I'm not gonna because I've already been taught this. I've been led to know right from wrong. I've been led to know where to go. And that's what I need. That's what we need as a generation. We need to be led. We need to be heard, and we need to be respected.
That's good.
That's something.
Ooh.
That's good.
Praise break. Yeah, I mean,
and pass the offering.
Man, I mean, yeah, pass the offering plate. I don't know. We need to start a GoFundMe, something, Cash App for real for they college scholarships.
Yeah, we do. We need to do that.
Whatever y'all hot crunchy curls, whatever y'all want. Like we got money on it because y'all deserve it. Like we go build y'all up and support and uplift everything. Like y'all preach today. I'm so I'm proud. Like I'm proud of y'all.
Me too.
For real. I don't even have I don't even know where to go from here. I'm just over here tongue tied, like more than
Y'all
you.
know what? I'm proud, but I'm also encouraged because we all know in doing this work every day, it's overwhelming. You know, we get it's a lot. I mean, and I'll be real honest, as leaders across the state of Georgia, we met on Friday about this Rayshard Brooks. I couldn't even cut my camera on. Like I was so hurt because we were betrayed. And we were betrayed. And from my standpoint, we had these young people involved feeling like, okay, it's hope out here. We're going to get, the right people in office. We're going to make change. And they betrayed us. And that was hard. So hearing them speak and seeing, this knowledge that they're dropping, it gives us hope, right, too. So I'm hoping everybody that's watching will definitely, commit to supporting young people's voices and empowering them.
Yes. Neo, I guess it's how we closing now. Did you want
to? I don't have anything to say. I would usually, but I'm just, I'm proud of y'all.
Yeah.
I have hope that we have bright young people that are critical thinkers that are literally thinking the same things that we're thinking about. So I'm like, if y'all have these types of thoughts right now at your age, then we gonna be all right. So
yeah,
yes, that part. And I just want to address like the humility, that y'all showed at first, because this has been the highest engagement that we've had on our show. So people showed up to hear y'all today. And so when you say stuff like, well, it ain't no big deal, and all this stuff, like, y'all are the biggest deals. And people came to hear what y'all had to say and see y'all, and because y'all are the future. So I just want y'all to be bold in your advocacy and be bold in your stories, because they matter. Like y'all matter all day. A lot of people showed up today to listen to y'all. So I just want y'all to know that, and thank y'all so much for coming. Thank y'all for y'all advocacy. Thank y'all for y'all intelligence, for y'all education, for self-education. Because schools ain't teaching what y'all learn. I don't know.
Yeah.
All of them.
Boy, Black history.
Yes.
And they really enjoyed it. Even in the history books, they're written by white people, man.
Everything is so whitewashed.
Yeah, they don't talk about slavery. They don't talk like the things that I know about Black history and slavery. I learned from watching movies, looking this stuff up, because ain't nobody like I didn't know up until like a couple years ago that the darker skin colored guys and females would pick the cotton and the lighter skin would work in the house. I didn't know this up until recently. And so now knowing like little stuff like that, they don't teach you that in history books. They teach you stuff like this. They teach you, what President JFK did for his country, what he did for Black people.
The way they teach it makes it seem like MLK ended racism.
Wow, that's good.
Hey, she got a personal shout out right there.
That's what
That's Nana. All right, y'all. We finna head out. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you to Jaden, Aisha, and Kaylen. Like y'all represented today, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sankofa, where we have the future that learned from the past. And with that, y'all, it's Black History Month. Go out and get some history.
Yes.
For you don't know, go out and get some history. Read a book today, throughout the week, for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year. Until then, we will see y'all next week with another dope TDRS. Y'all be good, be great. We'll talk to y'all later.
Peace, y'all.
All right.